talking about the Charlie Kirk shooting and how social media's ability to dehumanize other people at probably a faster rate than history would have done it is pretty remarkable. And you see a lot of that. You see a lot of it taking place on both sides. I think both sides describe each other as being like animals and inhumane. And one side's calling the other side Nazis. And then the other side is calling the other side, referring to them in animal terms because of maybe the color of their skin or their behavior. We saw a lot of that when that heinous individual killed the young lady on the train in America. And the way, look, this person is this worst thing on planet Earth. But the language was it was putting that person in a group of other people.
Yes.
And then making the whole group a pack of animals.
Right. I think you can, even though this was less than 24 hours ago, I think it's abundantly clear that this is not just going to be oh, well, that's sad. Have a funeral and move on. Yeah. It's like this will change society.
100%.
Because the people who loved him the most were young people.
Yeah.
We're like, this is the guy in politics who actually speaks my language. Mm. And if you're a 23-year-old guy who's like struggling with their political beliefs, Charlie Kirk may have been your hero.
Yeah.
And now they just gunned him down. The other issue with this, I just said it just now, is the word they. They got him.
Yeah.
And it's similar to road rage, where with road rage, you're not arguing with a person, you're arguing with a car. And when you're arguing with a car, I can do anything to a car. I don't give a shit about the car. Fuck the car. I'll kill the car. But if you got out of the car and looked each other in the eye, you're like, oh, you're not that. I'm so sorry, man. You're a good person. Let's have a good day. And with politics, you can do terrible things to them.
Yeah.
But them doesn't really exist. It's Bill and Steve and Sue and Rhonda and whatnot. And so when the argument in the last 24 hours is they did this.
Yeah.
Like, no, I understand that point, but it's one person.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, you know that more starkly than anyone as a podcaster, because I sit here with everybody of all political opinions, extreme left, pretty extreme right. And at this table, we get along.
Right.
We get along, and even off camera, we get along.
I think so many people have said this in the last 24 hours about Charlie Kirk. Yeah. One of the most common phrases I've heard was, I didn't agree with everything he said, but at least he was brave enough to have a conversation with people who he disagreed with. That was what he did, by and large, was going into schools and being like, I know you disagree with me. Let's talk. And he turned it from road rage into a conversation between people. And even if you disagreed with him, I think he did it very right in that sense. And I think that's why people from all over the spectrum are devastated in the last 24 hours. It was like he was one of the people who was doing it right. Even when you disagreed with him, he was having a conversation face to face and bringing people together.
I think that absolutely hits the nail on the head, which is, I think, there's things that I absolutely don't agree with him on, but I actually think that's just completely beside the point, because I want to live in a world where there's people that I disagree with. Like, I actually wouldn't choose the world where everyone I encountered agreed with my opinions. There would be no intellectual growth. There'd be no understanding. There'd be no real progress. But also, as you've highlighted, the way that Charlie Kirk went about it was he went to Oxford University and went on the formalized debate panel.
He didn't hide in an office and opine on social media. He went face to face and said, I know you disagree with me. Let's talk.
And I'll listen to he wasn't interrupting people all the time. He's hearing out their points, and he was
by and large respectful about it.
Yeah.
Now his skill was was the greatest debater of our generation, or multiple generations. I told my wife this like 6 months ago, long before he died. I said, if he argued that this table was red, after 5 minutes, you'd be like, fine, okay, it's red. Like, you win. He could debate anything. But he did it by and large respectfully. Maybe not always, but by and large respectfully. And what is missing from all political discourse today, it's I know you disagree, but let's talk and let's try to be respectful about it. And I can't think of anyone on either side who did that as consistently as he did. Even if I disagree with him. The idea that we're only going to talk to people who we agree with is what causes all the problems.
I don't understand these fucking people. I don't understand.
It's much more comfortable to surround yourself with people who agree with you than to accept the nuance of life. And this is the problem with a lot of political media, is that it creates much better content when people say, this is right, this is wrong. He's right, he's wrong. To make it very explicit, binary, black and white, than it is to accept the truth, which is like, it's complicated. Ken Burns makes great American documentaries. He has a sign in his office where he makes these documentaries, and the sign says, it's complicated. And he has that sign in his office because whenever you're telling the story about the Holocaust, World War II, the Great Depression, whatever it might be, the story is like, people are messy. It's complicated. And his point is like, we always want to put ourselves into my team versus yours. And of course, there is good and evil that exists, of course. But like, whenever we're talking about history, whenever we're talking about politics, whenever we're talking about sociology, it's complicated. But people don't want to accept that. They just tell me the answer. Just tell me who's right and who's wrong. As if this was arithmetic.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.